Hello, Internet. It is Sunday evening. It is popcorn chicken. Time for us to talk about The Last of Us. Elvin will be joining us in a few minutes because he's in the middle of finishing the episode. He had a bunch of running around and stuff that he was doing, so he's a little bit behind schedule. But hello, Viper. How you doing, man? Oh, hold on. Dio wants to join in on the conversation. So Elvin also this week, or rather today, he got a bunch of progress done on the game. So he's at the university, I think, now. So he's well on his way to being I think he's about halfway through the game right now. And yeah, today's episode was crazy. We got to see Troy Baker, who is the original voice for Joel in the game. And yeah, it didn't sound like Joel from the game at all, which is crazy. So it's cool to see that. There's also been a bunch of interviews and stuff with Troy Baker about the whole process and talking about the actual production and all of the people that have been working on it. And yeah, that's been a bunch of fun. And today we have 3 or 4 of us go down to Elvin's place, the studio that we've got there, to build a giant diorama, which is, I don't know, 20,000 feet by, it's like an actual McDonald's. There's a bunch of alleyways and it's the attention to detail on that thing is insane. So spent a few hours doing that. And yeah, so now we have what, two episodes left? I think there is, let's see. There is oh no, this was the penultimate episode. So there's one more episode after this next week. And if you've played the game, you know what's happening next. And today was the first episode that was not, I don't want to say it wasn't emotionally heavy, because it's still a heavy episode, but it was the least I didn't tear up in this one. But yeah, we got one more episode of this, then we got more Pedro Pascal, because obviously the Mandalorian started last week. So if you are not a fan of Pedro Pascal, don't watch TV, because he's kind of in the 2 most popular shows that are a thing right now. I mean, Mandalorian isn't nearly as I think influential or impactful as The Last of Us, which no one would have been guessing that a video game adaptation would be this impactful. Oh, hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Oh, Viper's got local shops getting Last of Us figures. Yep.
I wonder if Viper got the box, this prize yet. I sent it out to him last week. So I'm wondering if he got it or not. I'll be right back here.
I'm not seeing. Let's see. I'm curious what the figures are. I know there's, or who makes them. I know there's a lot of statues and stuff like that. A lot of people have, like,
Holy, you know what? This episode was insane.
yeah, right when
It was balls to the walls insane.
right when they got to this point, I was like, oh, it only goes downhill from here as far as and so this season and this game, the first Last of Us, the second one, it's just balls to the wall for most of it.
Okay.
Like the ramp up, how the episode season 1, it starts, like, oh, he's with his daughter, and oh no, she dies, and it, like, there's an incline of shit going wrong and horrible things happening. The second game and the second season, it's where this one ends as far as just like horrible things. The second season starts there. And the second game is just like, hey, welcome back. Here's the worst things ever. And yeah.
Kenton, you'd be surprised. This was by design. This is his agent, his team brilliantly figuring out what they want for him. A lot of this by design. They knew
it's all Illuminati.
They knew what's this happens all the time. You always see movies, like movie actors have 2 back-to-back movies in a year. Right? It's a good push for them to get more roles or be more noticed and become more popular. Because the more popular you are, the more roles companies and studios will want to go and give you.
Yeah, so now after The Last of Us, he can go do like, a dramatic role or a serious role.
Well, he's going to get movie offers for easy movie offers.
Yeah. That's true. He hasn't really done much movies, has he?
No, he's done TV shows. He's at the Narcos, he's the Mando, and he's done this, but he's going to get movie roles. Like, he's going to push himself away from TV shows very soon. And that should scare the for Disney. Because he could say, hey, this is my last year, or I hope Disney was smart enough to lock him in for 5 years.
Oh, probably.
Right? I hope. A lot of times they don't, because they're not sure if the show's going to do well, and they don't want to pay the guy for 5 seasons when the show ends in 2 or 3. Yeah. So they kind of meet in the middle. They're like, hey, we'll do 3 seasons with you, an option for 2 more. Right? Yeah. So let's hope they did have the option on their side, not his side, to decide to take up on it.
Yeah. Well, I doubt it, because Disney's usually they can do whatever they want. So they can just kind of be like, we own you for perpetuity.
I don't know if they can, because nowadays legality and issues with agents, there's a lot smarter now in terms of putting little things in the contract saying, hey, he has the right to opt out, because the goal is to get him to the movies, because that's what the big money is, right? Mm-hmm. The gap is getting closer, where movie and TV show actors are getting closer, because especially like HBO, where their premium channels, the gap is getting closer. But still, one movie, you could get 20 million.
Yeah.
One whole season, you probably get 10 million, 15 million. Right? So, but I just finished the show. That's why we're a little late today. I apologize to everybody. I had a long day, and I had to kind of push the show back another half an hour just to get it in. I was out all day. Got home, quickly turned it on, and man, it did not disappoint. It was just, I had a blast watching today's episode.
Yeah. Yeah, and right when I tried not to spoil anything when it was like, oh, they're gonna run into some people, and all I'm thinking is just like, it's cannibals, it's the cannibals, and it's gonna have the bar on fire scene, and it was weird when they got into that bar and she threw that stick and it started to light on fire. It was just like, oh, this is like, right when they got into that room, I already knew exactly where they were. I was like, oh, they're in the bar. It's going to light on fire. Because it looked so much like in the game from what I remember.
Speaking of the game, I've made some tremendous strides this week. I got every free chance I had. I played the game. I don't like playing games at night. I don't know why. I rarely play games at night. It's just, I like to play sports games at night, but games like this, I play in the daytime. Maybe because I'm scared shitless half the time, but still. I play it during lunchtime, this game, when I'm off. and I put, I think, 5 hours into it this weekend, last week. And I'm at that point where I'm in the university I was telling you today.
Yep.
Just finishing up the university chapter. So I'm looking forward to this because I'm assuming this is next, right? So, because he's going to get stabbed, obviously, and the screen goes black. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'm catching up. I'm hoping that I catch up to next week's episode. Or finish the game.
Yeah.
If I get another 4 hours,
do you want to see the ending in the game first or in the TV show?
I do. Yeah. It'll be a race this week to see if I can do that or not.
Yeah.
It's going to come close. I might be off by an hour, but it's going to come close. So I'm going to give everything I can to get through the next set of chapters so I can get to the ending. But I'm seeing the differences now. The game is obviously a lot longer and more in depth than the TV show, which is fine. I mean, but from what I've played and what I've watched, it really isn't too far off the show.
No,
it's so well done.
Yeah,
like, you know.
See, once again, Big Daddy Neil Druckmann back at it again with another banger. Yep.
Yeah, can't complain there. So this episode starts off where it left off last week, where she's basically looking after Joel, and Joel is not doing well. She lifts up the shirt and it's infected. Great job by the prosthetic people. It doesn't look too fake. I mean, it doesn't look real as a real wound, but it's not too far off. It's pretty good. There's a little pussiness to it. Like, obviously, having high definition TV screens, you can see more detail. And I could see a little bit of pussiness to it. I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. You know, like, so I like that. Kudos to them. I see them freezing their balls off. Like, I'm like, oh my God, it's cold over there in Edmonton.
Yeah.
David was definitely done better here than the game.
Sure. I don't even remember David from the game.
Okay, so I guess he's not that important.
David was
the preacher.
Oh wait, was David the preacher, or was that his sidekick?
The sidekick was the voice of Joel, right, in the game?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we left out. She goes hunting because they're hungry, right? Yep. Again in the snow, Edmonton, man, a great place to shoot this show. Yeah. You want snow, you'll find it. So she basically tries to hunt a rabbit down. She falls, face first in the snow. Learns her lesson to be a little bit more light-footed and careful. Yeah. As she walks into a firing range of a deer, and she gets down. She's got all these practices from Joel how to shoot. It's all coming full circle now. Her, to cock back that rifle, line it up, and bang, she nails the deer. But the deer doesn't fall right away. Yeah. It struggles. I'm not a hunter. I've never hunted deer. I've been told that a lot of deer can withstand a shot, and can get away, but eventually they will bleed out, and you'll probably find them like 2 miles away somewhere.
Yeah, usually you're aiming right behind the shoulder to get through the heart.
Yeah,
because, like anything else is just gonna maim it.
Yeah,
and they'll be chasing it forever.
Sure enough, she finds it. The people, the preacher and his sidekick, find it first, and then she comes from behind. And basically, she's very aggressive, and she should be. She's hungry as hell, right? I do like the cunningness of the preacher, and the intelligence. Like, he is smart, like just a smart talker. He knows what to say, when to say it. Yeah, very, very, very cunning and
charismatic. Like a good cult leader should be.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And he makes a trade saying, hey, penicillin, you go get penicillin and bring all that back, and we'll trade you for some deer. And of course, she's going to take that offer every day of the week, because if Joel's not alive, chances are she's probably not going to be alive for a whole lot longer. Right? So what does this deer meat mean? Who cares who cares what the deer meat? Get the penicillin here, right? And then obviously he offers to sit down and start a fire, because he needs time to, open up the stories, get more information out of her, and then we get the story right away. It's like, blah blah blah. 4 men went out to get some information and help, and 3 of them only came back because one of them was killed, and they said the person who killed that person is also with the girl, and you're just like, oh
yeah, when he's like, everything happens for a reason, I can prove it, and then he's just
that was great. The setup was amazing.
Yeah,
the writing was so well done, and she just like, deer in the headlights, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
She's just like, A&R dad joke. But she basically just like, oh fuck, like we've been caught here, right?
Yeah.
And now these guys are gonna kill us. I mean, it's. I was just blown away because I didn't see it coming. Right, like I said, I haven't played that part of the game.
Yeah.
Is this conversation in the game?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
It's a similar thing, and then it kind of goes back, and actually I don't remember a whole lot. I think you actually get warned, or you hear about a town of cannibals beforehand in the game.
Okay.
So that when I think, and then I think you kind of know it's coming, and then you run into them. And most of the end of this, like her in the cage, and then the fight. Oh, the fight in the bit with Joel. I don't remember being this fucking brutal though. Holy shit.
Man. Okay. So,
but like the whole you seeing like them just have this bucket of meat, and then they're just like, "What is that?" And then he's like, "Venison," and then everyone's like, "Okay." And like,
do you think they believe that? I don't think they believe that for a second.
Yeah, the preacher said only a couple people actually know that it's human meat, but I think everyone just
who's cooking it, maybe.
Well, yeah, and then also the hinting of like, oh, we need to bury my dad, and she kept crying. He's like, we'll do it in the spring. It's too stiff. It's too cold out. We can't bury him.
I mean, that is true. In northern territories, a lot of places they don't have burial sites available in the winter. So I kind of fell for it. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense because I've heard this before. But I mean, you playing the game, you're like, I see what you did there. Like
we can bury what's left of him. His bones.
That's crazy.
But yeah, and also too, you get a quite a bit more story. From what I remember, I don't remember all of any cutscenes or anything like showing the village and the people or whatever. And
so was there a scene where, so after the penicillin boy comes back, he wants to kill her because he creeps up from behind her. Yeah, the preacher says, "Nope, we're gonna honor our words." And this is just him just playing that game. He's playing the long game. He's playing that long game. He's trying to gain her trust. Yep. You could see it. You could see it in the tone and everything. He's like, just give her the penicillin. I can't remember the guy's name. Bob, Billy, whatever his name is. Just give her the
Troy.
penicillin. Yeah, Troy. Give her the penicillin. And the thing is here is there was a decision to divide the meat. But because of what the approach from behind, she doesn't even care about the meat. She's like, no. I'm going to take this and I'm running.
Yep.
Because they don't give a shit about me. They want to kill me or find my friend and kill my friend because obviously they're looking for him because he murdered one of their own.
Well, also too, we were led to believe that he just wanted to let her go because, out of the goodness of his heart and, not so that, and then we're like, we're also led to believe, they just want to find Joel and get vengeance or justice. Has nothing to do with the preacher also being a pedophile or something like that, or nope, nothing.
None of that.
No, of course
none
not.
of that.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's ulterior motives on top of ulterior motives.
Yeah, it's just he knows how to stack the deck,
Mm.
and he knows how to play the long game. And this is going back to how well he can speak and how he's ascended himself to be the leader, even though he might not be the strongest physically compared to the henchmen that he has around him. But he's just his words, they follow, right?
Yeah.
And that's a sign of a cult leader. And so, yeah, I mean, lets her go, like, and it comes back with the deer, and everyone's just like, the town felt like a bunch of zombies, dead, like lifeless human beings sitting there. They might as well be clickers. I mean, they're the same personalities, pretty much, right? Or lack thereof. And they just look disheveled, and it's just
almost like they're kind of going insane. Maybe it's something to do with their diet, or I don't know. Maybe who knows?
Not enough iron in that diet.
Yeah, iron deficiency, I don't think is the issue here.
So he pulls the deer in there, and I was expecting people to be like super joyous and happy, right? They brought in a big deer, and we're just like, okay,
neat.
And then he gives this little speech because he wants attention. So he's like, yeah, we have found the blah 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 blah. And then the daughter of the man who died says, we gotta kill him or kill both of them, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And he walks up to her and just goes backhand, right? And I'm sure it angered a lot of people, but if it angered you, that's great writing, great acting all around, because that's the purpose of it all, right? It's supposed to be shocker, it's supposed to be a very emotional scene, and I think both the actress and the preacher did a good job of selling that. And he just like, never forget. It's like, I'm your daddy. Like, I'm your daddy. Don't forget.
Yeah.
And then everyone just like says grace, and then they eat their human remains of their friends. Venison.
Right.
Venison stew. And you can tell how hungry this group is because they get a little tiny portion and just slurping it down, man.
Others
you're
are
right.
Pretty slowly, apprehensively eating it.
Do you think they're the ones that know what it is?
I think they might. Like, everyone else is kind of just like, fuck it, whatever, it's food, and aren't thinking. But there are a few people who are just like, we didn't have food, and they just brought in a deer. But now somehow we got now somehow we have food, and we also acquired a human body recently, and now have a surplus of meat. So
it's AAA Albertan beef.
I mean, you're not wrong. It is both of those things. It's fresh.
Yeah.
Free range.
Free range. There was a lot of range in those bodies.
Yeah. It was fed more than just grass. It was fed a wide variety of a diet.
It's a mammal.
Yep. It aged 40 years.
There are no steroids, but there's antibiotics in there.
Sure. It was raised with antibiotics. Yeah.
Penicillin maybe too as well.
Yeah.
If they're smart, they would have had Trinrex for their travel.
It was beer fed too. So
beer. Yeah, beer, peanuts.
Yeah.
Whiskey maybe, bourbon.
Yep. Ooh, get that
aged,
nice
aged smoky flavor, whiskey flavor.
Yeah,
man, we're going off on a tangent here. We can go on forever. It was well educated.
Yeah,
trained. Yes,
it was trained. Yes,
it's trained.
Yep.
I don't even know what to call it. Do I continue with this tangent or not? Okay. So we get to the scene where he's assured them the next day, I'm sending a team and we're gonna go capture these people because it's easy to track them in the snow. And so that's exactly what they do. She gets out of the house. She hears some commotion and she sees them down the road coming towards.
See some crows, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, actually the birds kind of gave it away that something's going on, right?
Yeah.
Super smart on her part. She does a little bit of investigation on what's going on, sees them down the road coming this way, bolts it back to the house, gives Joel the knife, tells him, oh, by the way, the funny part was how she's trying to inject him with the penicillin.
Yeah, she's like, where the fuck does this go?
Like, fuck it, it's right in the moon. Boom. Right? Twice she checks him, I remember the touching part was when she just curls up next to him.
Yeah.
Puts her hand on, and he kind of snuggles next to it. It was such a beautiful moment. It's father-daughter type of moment right there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a love there, right?
And we get a little more solidification, a little more solidifying of that at the very end. Yeah.
So you get that bond, and then these guys are coming, and she basically says to him, here's a knife. I'm going to lead them away. But
if anyone comes, you kill them, okay, Joel?
Yeah, like Joel needs to be told, right? So anyways, and she's smart. She puts the big dresser against the door there to kind of ward them off or make it difficult for them, or at least have Joel hear them coming so he can prep for them, right? And then takes off on the horse. I don't know if the right idea was to go, hey, guys, and they're only 10 feet away.
She's trying to draw them away from...
No, I understand that, but shouldn't you be a little bit further away? Right?
Sure. Well, maybe she didn't plan it.
She shooting distance of these guys.
Yeah.
Right?
She hit one of them, too.
Yeah. The depth, I thought, was too close.
Sure.
I would have galloped at least another 20, 30 feet before I yelled. Right? And that cost her because they were able to circle around the house. And, Bob, Billy, whatever his name was, Todd, his name, he was able to shoot her, the horse, and then have her fall right off it. And that's just because of her own stupidity for being too close to them and letting them know where she is. But she gets knocked out, or basically, got her head hit on the floor, and she's basically woozy and about to just pass out. They're about to pull the trigger on her because they want to end her life.
Yep.
And the preacher comes and says, hold on a second here. What are you guys doing? I told you guys what to do. I want her alive. Now, if you guys want, you can get your vengeance by going door to door and finding this fucker and putting a bullet in his head. But one of you is going to drag the deer with me back. The horse. Or two of you are going to drag the horse. And the other one, I'm going to take her home. But the rest of you, happy hunting. Right? So he's appeasing them because he knows they want blood. They want vengeance. Yeah. And if he denies them, they might pull a trigger on him. So I thought it was brilliant for him to get what he wants, but also give them what they need so they can shut up, which I thought was brilliant. As a leader, that's an amazing way to reduce the tension in your group, right? Give them a little bit of what they want, but also get what you want. And at the end of the day, all he wanted was her. That's it. So not only brings meat back to the place, brings the girl, and now these guys are happy hunting. And happy hunting it was, but just for the wrong side. Ooh, man. So this was by far the best part of the show.
Yeah.
Joel, eyes wide open, boom. And Joe, whatever is Smith with the beard.
James,
there you go, James.
Oh wait, no. James, which is Troy Baker's
James'
character.
Buddy.
He goes back with Yeah.
So Billy Bob with the beard walks into the house, recognizes that this could be the place where she was because there's a lot of stuff scattered on the floor, and then notices a dresser and looks in, realizes there's a door behind that thing, and immediately is alerted that this is the spot that they're hiding downstairs. Moves the dresser out of the way, and that time is Joel needed to get off his ass on the mattress and find a spot to ambush this guy when he comes in. So that decision by her gave him the time he needed to get up because he's still in pain. like he's not healed. And giving him the knife also gives him a chance to do something. So great decision on her part to set up him, protect him. And sure enough, this guy walks down the stairs. And I also like the fact that this idiot wasn't just running down the stairs with a gun.
Yeah.
He knew someone's down there, but just where? So I've got to be smart. So there's brilliant and intelligence on both sides here. Right? The cat and mouse game. And sure enough, Joel just plays a better job of, hiding. And this reminds me of the game, man.
Yeah.
I do this a million times in this game.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like grab, calm him down, drop him on the ground, and off you go.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure enough, just like the game, right out of the game, he does that, puts the guy to a misery, and then gets a gun now. He has a gun. So, yeah, and he basically sets up the next ambush, which I thought was amazing too. Oh. Right? I mean, I want to let you talk because I've been talking about this, but yeah, what do you think of the second act of this hunting?
I mean, it starts out, like the second part, like when the interrogation stuff.
Well, no, just before that, he's on the ground. Remember, his other friend comes like, "Are you okay?" And then from behind, whack, right?
Yeah. And
so he set a bait
also,
there.
Yeah, also like straight out of the game too. He just leaves him there, and then let's see where it goes from. Like, he puts out in the backyard, out in the backyard there, pretty much. And either that was as bait. Well, at first I was like, oh no, they found a body. Like it was, a stealth game or whatever, and that's the worst thing. Like, oh, the enemies are alerted now. And they're like, shit, they know where. And then it was like 2 frames that you see Joel hit him with the butt of the gun, which was so cool because it wasn't like this big, long, drawn out, like, he just like looks up and then it was like, snap. And for a split second, you see Joel with a gun. And then they both wake up in the living room. One's taped to the piano, one's taped to the chair. And then he starts like questioning them and then just immediately stabs the guy in the knee with the giant Bowie knife. And that like made me want to vomit and like just immediate shivers.
Oh, honestly, like when he said kneecap, I've had knee injuries, and I'm telling you, injuries alone are painful. But can you imagine a knife piercing down that area?
All of my nope.
Yeah, and this is the ravage and intensity of Joel.
Yeah,
because of the bond and the task at hand, right? Like he is a cold-blooded killer when it comes to Ellie's protection.
Yeah,
and it's only getting more and more amped up every episode we get deeper in.
Yeah,
like he was so different with her in the first meeting compared to now. This journey, this whole process of their relationship is so over the top and just so protective compared to where it started from. I can't believe that huge transition. It's a massive transition, right? That line where you're just cargo seems like a million years ago to me.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just so like crazy to see how far they've come as a team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, just to see him there, like, and I just love that scene where he's like, I'm gonna take a map out.
Yeah.
Puts a knife in his mouth with blood dripping on it. You're gonna point to where we are and where I need to go. Yeah. And if your buddy doesn't point the same one, you're both gonna die or something like that. Yeah. You're gonna die, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'll do it. So he points it, right? And then he takes the knife and just kills him. And then the buddy behind him is just screaming and swearing. He's like, you're gonna die, blah, Jesus, blah, blah, blah.
No, he was just like, he told you, like, why'd you have to do that, man? He told you. And then he's just like, all right. And then he's like, I'm not gonna tell you shit. And he's like, okay, well, don't worry, I believe him. And then he kills him
with the steel pipe,
with a lead pipe.
Yeah, a lead pipe. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I believe him. And my son was watching next to me, and my son just had a chuckle. Right, I'm like, Wow, you're evil. Like looking up, you're evil. You laughed at that part because he's like, yeah, I believe him. Don't worry. Wham, right? And of course, he's not going to leave anybody behind.
No,
that's not Joel. That's cardinal rule number 1. Don't leave your enemies living behind you because they will come after you after they get free. And so they're both dead. So what is that? How many did he kill? 3 guys, right? Because they're all 3 that were hunting in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So he killed all 3. And so nobody's coming back. And sure enough, Joel gets all ready to go into the wind, the snow, whatever you want, the blizzard, right, to get to her. And then we get into her story. She's in the cage. Preacher's talking to her. Preacher's giving the spiel.
Is trying to like or is he talking to her first and then she?
It goes back and forth, right?
Yeah,
it kind of goes back and. But I wanted to kind of like talk about that scene all of it together, and then obviously with this scene in the jail, the prison that he's made in the back there of the kitchen, and he's trying to woo her to be one of his sort of assistant leaders. We know it's not what he wants, but it's what he kind of wants a smoke screen as that she's the second in command kind of be. But he just wants to have her follow the with the rest of the sheep, and tries to convince her that they're very similar in terms of their nature and their characteristics. She almost like kind of falls for this, right? Because that's how good he is, how effective he is. Until then, she kind of looks down at a corner because she went to reach down for the food. I think it was.
Well, no. So before this, I think it was when he was getting the food for her. She kind of is messing with the chain link fence or whatever, and she sees like remnants of like somebody getting chopped up in like the next room or something.
No, she saw a piece of ear.
Yeah, remnants of somebody being, so she sees like a body part pretty much, and then he brings her food and she just immediately is like, you're fucking eating people. And he's just like, I would have told you eventually, probably, maybe.
And so basically he tries to convince her and she's not having any of it. She's like, you're a fucking, you eat people, you're disgusting, blah, blah, blah. And he's just trying to tell her, like, we kind of have to because we can't find food.
Yep.
Right. And I get it from their perspective. Obviously, I don't condone cannibalism, but what I'm saying
really?
is clip this.
You don't?
No, I don't.
I never would have guessed.
Popcorn Chicken is brought to you by Campbell's Chunky Soup.
By Soylent Green.
There's a protein packed in every soup. He just, like he's trying to tell her, like, what choice do we have as a group? If we don't consume meat or any food, we all die.
Yeah.
Right? It's sort of like Thanos, where he wanted to kill half the universe's population to help the other half from being in starvation, or genocide or killing each other because the population in the universe is overgrown. So it's that mad mentality, right? Of just genocide is probably the best route. So, and she's just like, you're kind of nuts, bro, because she's like, I found a deer and I literally went out for 20 minutes in the bush. Like, you're telling me you and your idiot buffoon friends can't go find animals? Like, how hard are you trying even? Right? So I don't know if she's going to buy any of that, and she definitely isn't. And I like how he puts his hand on the chain link fence. And
we see
she puts her hand there. She's trying to like pretend that she's buying into this.
Well, and he's just like starting on this super creepy path, and
you know what? That's the right word to put it, because I was kind of getting creeped out too. I was like, this is weird. Yeah, this is getting weird.
Yeah.
And sure enough, she breaks his finger.
Yeah.
And then he gets all crazy and grabs her and smashes her face against the chain link fence a couple of times. She gets a bloody nose.
And then finally tells him her name.
Yeah, but she says it in a way like, "Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
My name's Emily, and Ellie, and tell your friends that." I was
just like, Ellie was the one who broke your fucking fingers.
So good.
Yeah.
Eat shit and tell your friends.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? I was gonna blah blah blah, but he was gonna kill. He was gonna kill him anyways. He just wanted to make her terrified even more. Like, yeah, you know what we're gonna do to him, right? Yep. And then so, what happens here after this? How does she get out?
Well, they come back. So then it like shows,
they come back to grab her. Yes.
Yeah. And then she bites his hand, and then they put it, and they're just gonna chop her up.
Oh yeah,
and
she's like,
then she's just like, wait, I'm infected.
Yeah.
And now so are you.
Which I thought was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And then so she's like, look at my hand, and then James looks at him. James like, that looks pretty fucking infected to me there.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to tell him it's fake. He's like, no, that doesn't look fake. I mean, I don't know how you're gonna fake that. And while they're arguing, they get distracted and forget about her, and she gets the meat cleaver and goes, Thum. And I was just like, whoa.
Goodbye, Troy Baker.
Oh, wow, James, you just got cut up, bro.
Yep.
It's like, oof. And I just love how he just bleeds out.
Just the slow fall down and just slumps down, and you're like, all right, bye.
That was a good appearance you had there, buddy.
Yeah.
Put that on your resume.
Yeah.
I showed up for 5 minutes.
Yep. I've been in
and
5 scenes.
Then runs, and I'm surprised she didn't get a bullet. Like,
yeah, almost.
She could have easily gotten shot.
Yeah, there's a couple close calls for sure.
Yeah. And runs through the little bar and tries to find a door to get out. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised there's no exits. You kind of think, right, there'd be a giant exit sign in a bar to tell you where to get out.
Well, I mean, also it's the apocalypse, so they probably boarded it up.
Yeah. Maybe chained it up, maybe, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be a possibility. But so she gets to the bar area where, everybody gets together for the meals. You see the big, huge preaching sign at the door there. And he's basically hunting for her now. And she sees this is the part where I want you to talk about this part, because you were mentioning this earlier.
This is like a boss fight kind of in the game, and there's a lot of quick time events, and it goes for way longer. Like I think this one, it was like 2 or 3 minutes. This is like a 10-minute section of the game.
Holy shit.
It's a lot. Like the entire place is on fire. You're just constantly like hiding and sneaking and trying to get away from them, and it's stressful as fuck. Yeah.
So I'm not gonna like this at all.
No.
Man, I hate that part of the game.
Yeah.
Right now, the part I hate in the game is that big boy that's infected comes after you all the time.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Running at you. I get the shotgun and I just give him a couple. Actually, in the university part, I threw the bottles, the flaming bottles at him.
Yeah.
And let him go on fire because it keeps withering his powers down, right?
Yeah.
And I run up backwards and I just do a couple of shotties at him and then runs away and do another couple of shotties and he's done. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so place starts going on fire, and this was from the trailer last week where I saw the place going to fire. And it just went up real fast.
Yeah.
And he doesn't give a shit. He's like, both of us gonna die in here. I don't care. Right? I mean, so from the game to this, how well was this done from the TV side of things?
This was
did it do justice?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
It definitely everything that they have done, they have done it justice, but have it be slightly different where you're still getting something else out of it. And this, I don't remember being like so like affected by it. A lot of the things in the game like that are super intense, you're just like, oh shit, oh wow, that was fun, got through that part of the game or whatever. And so the video game isms kind of, I don't want to say take away, but they don't let you kind of be as affected by what actually is happening. So when she finally gets the jump on him and he's like about to unzip his pants and then she just fucking stabs him and then stabs him about 30 times, you're just sitting there just going like, oh god.
So this is the creepy part where he finds her and basically is trying to, I don't want to say it, but it seemed like that he's
trying to repopulate
take advantage of her, let's put it that way. And she's reaching for the knife. This is the classic reach for the knife thing. It's straight out of every single movie, TV show you could think of that has a similar incident like this. And I would have loved it because remember in the beginning, when she first meets him, says what? In between the eye. And I was hoping for that. Right? I was like hoping that she would go right in between the eye because that would have been like full circle. So I'm surprised the writers didn't put that in there and said, hey, what if we did it right between the eye? Because that's what they were saying in the beginning. That would have been brilliant if they had done that. But what does she do? Stab him in the neck, or how does she get away?
Well, she gets the knife, the chest, hits him, and she hits him like in the shoulder or chest or whatever, and then she gets on top of him and stabs him like 15 times.
Yeah. She's just been berserk, right?
Yeah. And then she gets
chop.
Yeah, and then she gets out and starts running away, and then Joel meets up with her, and then she loses her shit, and all of this happens in the game too. But he says something very different than what he's ever, and as you were mentioning before when you were talking about like, oh, we went from him saying, oh, you're just cargo, to now him being like, it's okay, baby girl, I got you, I'm here, it's okay.
Oh man, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. I wish they said that in the show right now, because then that would have been
they did
he? No, he said I'm here, isn't he?
He said he called her baby girl.
Oh, okay. I didn't. I missed that part. I was trying to get down here to turn on the lights and everything.
Yeah.
Because I forwarded the last second there because I wanted to see the next week's trailer. So I got to see a little bit of next week's trailer.
Yeah.
There's no more snow.
Nope.
No more snow in there. And the very last part was Ellie saying to him, let's end this. Like, let's end what we started.
Yep.
So that was the trailer.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, man, this was a solid. As I said earlier in the show, this was a good episode that I really enjoyed watching. It had everything: suspense, action, fun, humor, everything. It's so well done. What also has a lot of suspense, action, fun, and everything is our other shows that we do. We have our Monday show tomorrow, the A&R Weekly, 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. Come join us there. We're probably going to give some prizes away tomorrow because it's my birthday over the weekend. So might give some stuff away. Who knows? You got to show up and you have a chance to win. Last week, somebody showed up on our chat an hour before the show started and said, I'm here first. And I gave him a prize.
Wow, you encouraged the first.
Well, I know what it is to go to a chat and be the first and wait for the show to start. Yeah. And I showed a lot of it. Said, hey, you win a prize. So they thought I was joking because I put in the chat. I'm like, you won a prize. Yeah. And they're like, haha, LOL. And then when the show started, I'm like, no, you really won the prize. I need you to send me the address. So I could send you the figure. And so that person won an action figure. And they're like, holy crap, right? Like, I thought that you were joking. I'm like, no, I was not joking. So if you show up next on Monday, 8:30 p.m. Pacific time, or if you show up on our other shows, we have another banger of a show Wednesday night at 9:45 p.m. It is the Popcorn Chicken TV and movie episode. We're doing the Bad Batch review.
Yep.
We're doing the Mando review. And we're having after hours at the Cantina Bar where we can kind of talk about some things that are happening around the pop culture world. Join us there on Wednesday nights at 9:45 p.m. Pacific time. You could win a prize there as well.
You could.
Yeah. And then obviously this show every Sunday night, right after the Last of Us ends, we do a breakdown of it. Next week is the season finale. I can't wait. It's sad it's the season finale, but man, woof, what a show!
Yep.
What do you give this week's episode?
Unless
you have anything else to add before.
Not really, no. Next week's gonna be a doozy. Get your tissues ready, and it's not gonna be easy.
Oh man, don't say this to me.
It's gonna be tough, and also it's gonna be a divisive episode. There's gonna be a lot of
I hate divisive episodes.
Yeah, it's gonna be we're gonna have some discussions. We'll put it that way. Some debates.
I might ask some people from our team if they want to come and join us for the season finale. I know both Chris's in our team have shown interest, so they might join us next week for the breakdown of this show. We'll see. Yeah. So, what would you give this week's episode?
This one I'm gonna give a 9.
Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna give this a 9.5.
Yeah.
This was close to being a great 10 has to be phenomenally over the top.
Yeah.
This was close to it in my opinion. For what I like to see in a 45-minute TV show episode. Yeah, so this was a 9.5 for me. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was fun to watch. A lot of things that I love, the elements of making a good show was in it here. Locale, the writing, you name it. It was there. It was good. Was that okay? I was going to ask you, was the fire in the bar CGI?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think so.
Well, if you can find out for next week, let me know.
I will.
Do some research and let me know if that was CGI or not, because it looked real to me.
It did.
It's hard to make a CGI fire.
That's
especially
hard. TV,
the flickering, the lighting, the shadow, all of it has to be perfect.
Yeah.
Right? It's so much work that you might as well just light it on fire.
Yeah.
Right? Drapes, we got 1 million of them. CGI, no, we don't want to pay $1 million to do a CGI for that. Yeah. So, and then I did notice that they shot the fire of the wooden planks in an angle.
Yeah.
Where it didn't show the whole bar, so they could have just had a wooden planks over and over again and just burnt that part over and over again.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they could have.
Yeah, see if you can find out next week if that was actually real or not.
Sure.
To me, it looked like it was real. So
yeah.
Or if anyone's listening and their specialty is CGI or working in the movie industry or do know the answer to this, let us know in the chats or in the message from this episode, and we'll appreciate that because I want to know. I would love to know that. Was there anything you want to add? I know we'll talk about next week about the whole show in general as well, but anything you want to add for this episode?
No.
Did they take anything out from the game?
I don't remember. I don't think they did. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
I don't think so.
I'll like I said, I'll do my best to try to play that game this week to catch up to it. And hopefully it'll be interesting.
Do it.
Yeah.
It's gonna get crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. All right. yeah, we appreciate everybody for joining us. If you're watching us on the replay, thank you so much. If you're coming across us for the first time, well, welcome. And do us a favor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and let everybody else know. Because if you hit the like button, YouTube does this crazy thing with the algorithm and lets other people know about it, which we appreciate. And come join us. We have tons of shows every week we do. We do reviews as well. We've got a big review. There's a little sneak peek of what's going on behind me. And we're going to do an awesome and epic reveal of this. It is a long time coming, over a year in the making. And I'm really excited to show everybody here. So make sure you're subscribed to this. Hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss this reveal. It's going to be an epic one for the ages in the toy community. It's going to be amazing. We've dropped some hints. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I'll see you guys on Monday nights at 8:30 p.m. on A&R Weekly. Say bye, Justin.